Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I've been away for a couple days on vacation, so I haven't made a video in a bit, so I was excited to get something done today and be able to share it with you guys. I mainly used paper from Tim Holtz Ideology Memoranda, and then Tracie Fox's digital kit Country Garden for this whole little book I'm going to show you. I had a lot of this left over her Country Garden paper or kit because I only used one image in my entry that I did for her design team. So I wanted to do something with the rest of it because I really like it. It's super pretty. A lot of it's Edith Holden, I think, like little images of her, and I put that one already in the book, but they're really pretty, so I wanted to use it up. I think I got a little overzealous when I found out about Tracie Fox's design team, and I got excited because I got an idea and I made it, and I probably should have taken more time and thought of other ideas as well, but you know, that's life and that's how it goes. So I just wanted to make sure I use the rest of the kit because it's just super pretty. I also found this Tim Holtz fabric, and so I used a lot of that in this album as well. This album, this junk journal, is mainly made out of denim. That's what the whole cover is. I had an old pair of pants, and I don't know if this happens to everyone. I'm sure it probably does, but folding them and whatever, they end up with this weird line that goes down along next to the seam, and so I cut them up. I was like, okay, I'm just done with that. So I cut them up and decided to try making a junk journal and using this as the cover and then the main seam down the pants as the binding for the little junk journal. So I used that Tim Holtz fabric, and so what I did is, as you can see here, this is my binding. I stitched in, I just did one signature because obviously, I mean, that's pretty tiny. I didn't want to do too much in there, and then you couldn't close it and it's flopping open and all that. So I just did one signature in this book, and I got this, I think I told you guys when I did my leather journal, I showed you my leather journal. I got this kit off of Amazon that has the tool, the awl, to poke the holes, and it works amazing. And then this really nice, like wax coated thread, and a whole bunch of different needles for all different things. So I will link that kit down in my description box, because if you're looking for something to go through some of the thicker fabrics like leather, or you know, I went right through this denim, the seam, the whole seam, without any problem at all. That all just poked right through it. So it's definitely something to consider if you're interested in doing stuff like this. So anyway, I took Tracie's kit. This is one of the ones from her, one of her entomology sets. It's a smaller circle. I cut it even smaller, and then I added it onto a piece of Tim Holtz paper, and I just stitched it right on here onto the front cover with a piece of lace right there that just sticks up, so it's just kind of floppy in there. And then I love this image of the daffodils. It's beautiful, and I just put a piece of Tim Holtz paper back there, matched the denim pretty well, and then a piece of yellow lace, old vintage yellow lace, and then this is a button that my daughter had with a, looks like a daisy kind of on it. And then this is just the end of the fabric, you know, down at the bottom sometimes, and none of the other pieces that I got in that set of fabric had that, but one of them did have the number for color coding. I just thought it was kind of cool because it had all the numbers on it, so I put that down there. And then this is a piece of the green from that same group of fabric that I got, that's Tim Holtz. So I like the way that turned out. I made the album by taking a piece of thin cardboard like this. My sister gets these. They're on a lot of times on the back of stacks of paper. She gets them from work. When they're done with a stack of paper, there's this on the back, and so she brings them to me. I do all kinds of stuff with them. But they also come on the back of the, a lot of the cardstocks have things like that on the back of them too. So I put a piece of that between the denim and the Tim Holtz fabric that's on the inside. I first cut the denim and I washed it so it all frayed. And then I took Tim Holtz's fabric and I ripped it and stitched it onto the cover with the cardboard in between to kind of give it some backing. So it, you know, it's a pretty good little cover. It's not super floppy, because with my leather one it was a little floppy, but that's just kind of the way I wanted that one. You know, it's all leather, so it's gonna, unless you get the super thick leather, it's not gonna stand up by itself. So I just did 3 different ones, tore them, stitched them on, and then I stitched a funny little pocket on here out of another piece of denim, and they're not totally straight. I cut them straight the first time, but then once they start fraying, they get all kind of funky, as I'm sure most of you know. I put a piece of Tim Holtz fabric back here, that's the one with the 2 on it, and then Rick Rack. This is an Edith Holden flower. I just fussy cut it out from a picture that I had. And then I believe this is Edith Holden, and Tracie would know better. This is one of Tracie's images here. And then on this page, I have another one of her, Tracie Fox's beautiful images. And then this is also from her kit, and again, it's that country garden. I just fussy cut out this flower and just put it on there. Okay, and I think it goes great with this Tim Holtz paper. It just like goes perfectly. And this is one of Tracie Fox's images. I just added a little piece of lace behind it that I stamped, or actually inked, not stamped. I took just regular lace like this, and you've probably seen it in my other videos, and I inked it using, it's actually a Stampin' Up color called Blackberry Bliss. That's why it's kind of purple. But you could use, Tim Holtz has tons of colors of distress ink and all that, or you could use any color that you wanted. I just inked right on it, and it came out really pretty. And then this is the Tim Holtz paper. I just cut it, rounded the edges, inked it, added a strip of coffee dyed paper for journaling, and it's the kitty paper with the really wide lines. I just glued a piece of that on the back. I stitched here and here to hold the pocket. And then the coffee dyed papers. This is a Tracie Fox image from that Country Garden kit. This is a piece of that paper tape that I made the other day with you guys when I showed my leather journal. It's in that video, so if you want to see how I did that, I did it by using the medical paper tape, and I just appliqued napkin onto it. And so if you're interested in seeing how I did that, it's nothing new. A lot of people have done things like that with tissue paper or stamping or whatever. But anyway, I just put a piece of that there. And then this is from the Tim Holtz paper. Just made a little tag, stitched a piece of his fabric up there. Found this Giving Your Garden the Care It Deserves in this funny little old 70s garden book. Had some neat things to add to give a little character. And this piece of paper that's back here, this is the one, I'm not really sure where I got this. This was just in my stash, so I apologize for not knowing what company made that one, but I liked the inside of it. I just thought it went well with this. And then coffee dyed paper, coffee stained paper with a Stampin' Up music image stamped on it. And more coffee stained paper. And then this little middle section that's folded into like a tag thing is Tim Holtz paper, and then I added Tracie Fox, another one of her images from the Country Garden, as a pocket, and this is also one of the images from Country Garden, and I just tucked that in there. And then this is the middle of my signature. I haven't added anything onto these. I may, or I may just leave them plain, I don't know. But I made some little tags and cut slits into the paper like I did for the video that I did for Tracie Fox for my entry. I just took my paper cutter and sliced from here to here, and again, that's something that a lot of people have done. But I made little tags. This is one of Tracie Fox's images there, and another one, and then the taller one. So they're 3 different sizes, you can see, obviously, because they're going down the page. So I just cut right into that paper and made little tuck spots, which is easy to do. Okay, and then I just backed it with a piece of book paper from a book about flowering shrubs that I have, like that paper. And then coffee stained paper. And this is another one of Tracie's images from that kit. These are just so pretty. I love irises anyway, but this is just a little piece of book paper with 10 foot by 16 feet on it. And then this is out of that same flowering shrub book that I have, and I added a piece of Tim Holtz graph paper from that stack of scrapbook paper that I have. And this is one of Tracie Fox's images, and then this is from that gardening book again, Summer Garden. And then this is like a junk envelope, and it has the window in it, or a bill envelope or whatever. I kind of liked this one because of the way it was staggered like that, and I liked the way it came out from the coffee staining. Otherwise I would have covered it entirely with either fabric or paper, but I just liked the way it came out. And so this is one of Tracie Fox's images. That's probably my favorite. Just so pretty. And this is Tim Holtz washi. I just stitched around it, stitched a piece of bias tape up there. On the back I put, for journaling, I put a 5x7 card or whatever, the bigger size of the index cards. And I covered it, I decoupaged it with sewing pattern paper, the really thin tissue-y paper. Just put that on there and cut it out. So you can see the beautiful image through that. And then this is the Tim Holtz fabric again. More of this purple ribbon, bias tape, whatever. And then I added a pocket on the back. This is an Edith Holden image. This is from Tracie Fox's kit, Rick Rack, and a piece of Tim Holtz fabric there. And so this just can slide in and out there. This card I made, my daughter bought pants, and on the tag it says, "Do what you love and do a lot of it." I don't know if you guys can see it. There we go. So I didn't want to leave it with this on the back, so I covered it with an Edith Holden image, the moth from, that's Edith Holden as well. I just put a piece of lace and stitched it on down there. And then there's the "Do what you love and do a lot of it." And there's Tracie Fox's inchworm, which again I love. So cute. And then there's just a little piece of that same lace behind the inchworm. And I cut these a little shorter and inked them up a little bit. So you can stick those in there or whatever other thing you might want. But I think that came out pretty well doing the binding like that. It seems like a pretty stable little book with the cardboard in the front and back. The spine's a little bit flappy just because I didn't put cardboard on this part back here because it was already thicker with the binding the way it was, or the seam the way it was. So just a fun little book for somebody to treasure someday. I hope you guys have a great day, and if you'd like to see more of my stuff, please subscribe. Bye bye now.